What is up, everybody? This is Gerkinman, and this is, of course, Game Over Gerkinman, and this is Resident Evil 4, and hey, I'm doing this live again because I just tried a new setup, and I'm seeing how it sounds, so I guess you could call this a test. If you hear any tappy-tappy, that is the dog walking around, and I do apologize, but he has very loud feet, and we need to buy him some booties. So why did I go back to this live format after only so few episodes of the pre-recorded one? Basically because I just realized that I'm double doing things in something that I could just sit here and play for an hour and a bit. Instead is taking double that because I'm sitting down and recording it afterwards. And that's time that could be spent... I didn't mean to actually click on that same thing. That is time that could be spent animating and doing other more productive things. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So I've got the microphone actually sitting on top of the TV cabinet here. It's a little far away, but I don't know how it'll sound. Hopefully it'll sound okay. And hopefully now that I have the Chicago typewriter and you can see how I'm just blitzing everybody, these episodes will be a bit shorter, since I won't be doing as much fart-assing around. But yeah, I was enjoying doing it in post, but then I was finding there were things I probably could have pointed out, but I didn't point them out long enough while I was playing it to really talk about them properly and things like that. So I don't know, I do like the post format. It's kind of a podcasty sort of feel to it, but it's just, I really had to make a decision. Do I want to play through the game and then watch myself play through the game and lose all that time? Because the last episode of this was 40 minutes, that's 40 minutes I could have been drawing or animating or, that sort of thing. So that's really what it all comes down to. This is an interesting part of the game here, actually. It's an interesting environment that you find yourself in. Underneath the castle, for some reason, there's this giant mining thing. I don't actually know what it is, or it's obviously digging downwards, but aside from that, I got no idea what it is or what its purpose is. That's never really explained. Oh, I gotta turn the power off down here. But I guess it's a nice change of pace from the usual castle business, because it is such a long section. And as I said, obviously with the last episode being 40 minutes, it is quite a long part of the game. There are some really, really long segments in that castle environment. What am I doing? I've completely forgotten what I'm doing. Oh, there's a thing over here, you flick. That's right. Yes, pull on the lever. I guess technically he pushed on the lever since it went upwards, but whatever. Yes, this is a trick this game does quite a bit. You'll be waiting on an elevator. I guess the last one had one too. You're waiting on an elevator, then something will trip, then you get inundated with enemies. None of that matters anymore, because this gun makes pretty much the rest of the game an absolute cakewalk. Calling it a cakewalk almost seems too generous as to how easy it'll be. So for some of you viewers that might make things boring, but for me, it's amazing how much more fun this game can be when you're playing it like this. Also, I started playing through Cameo, so all the early episodes of that are pre-recorded, but I'm going to go to this live format for that as well, because there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about and I couldn't really quite explain them because I wasn't playing it at the time, and I couldn't point them out. So here's a bit of context. He's dead. You saw how hard that guy was to shoot earlier in the game. One shot dead. It's just instant satisfaction in this thing. So many of these guys just jumping down. Alright, so now that's done, you can get this thing the rest of the way. Yeah, that really should say push the lever, shouldn't it? Grammar in video games. If you care about grammar in video games, then let me know. I know I've never really thought about it. That's the extent of my knowledge. Alright, so we're going to come over here, we're going to get this dynamite. There's actually a couple of ways you can do this puzzle too. There's this rock here which obviously you have to destroy. If you have the rocket launch, you can actually also shoot it with that and bypass all of that crap. But honestly, that's a waste of Waste of a rocket launcher, if you ask me. It's easier just to get the dynamite and blast the thing. Now, I'm pretty sure once I get through here, I'm going to have to find some other nasty beasties too. From memory. Yes, this room. This room, the first time you come into it, is absolutely terrifying for reasons you will very soon see. It's not necessarily particularly difficult, generally, but when you try to leave, there we go. 2 more of these guys, one in S&M gear. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting to get hit with that straight up. Man, look at all my health items I have. I have not been taking care of my inventory, evidently. How embarrassing. Just gonna take a pause from this long, exciting boss battle to rearrange my weapons and things. Okay, so from memory, these guys now I should just be able to mow down with like next to no effort. Yep, that was this thing doesn't even have a reload time. You just keep shooting them with it, and eventually they go down. Like you said, they're actually invincible when they're. This is actually taking longer than I thought it would. So they're actually noticing now. I didn't remember this. They're invincible. Like they have an infinite amount of health basically in this form. In order to kill them, you have to get that thing out of their backs. That's where their health is. And I'm just got crushed by his body. And that's how you do it. So normally you'd actually try to you'd lure one of them and they'd fall into there. It's in your best interest not to do that, because if you do, you don't get the money prize for both of them. You only get the money prize for one of them. Oh my god, this gun just changes everything. I'm just blitzing this now. These episodes are going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. This is another. It's funny how you leave that little mine room here and you end up in this really dark environment. They don't seem like they should be necessarily linked, but they are for some inexplicable reason. Two light shell shine and light a new path. So yeah, I've started playing through Cameo now. That's proving to be fun. It's quite interesting. It's quite awkward, I will say. Going back to it now, the controls are very, very alien compared to what I'm used to from other games. But I'm slowly adjusting to its weirdnesses. I guess is how I describe them. Very, very unusual control scheme. But I mean, so does this when I got back into it too. It feels very, very odd going to it now. It just doesn't control in the way most shooters do in this particular day and age. Normally, your shotgun is your best friend in here. Shotgun makes this an absolute. Well, not an absolute breeze, because it takes about 2 shotgun blasts to kill these guys. But it definitely, generally makes it easier. But of course, nothing quite makes things as easy as this super cheap tactic I'm using here. Where are you? There you are. So, I can come up here. I've kind of forgotten what I need to do up here. I know there's some lights I have to hit to try to activate. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, there's 2 switches. So I looked up what the Novistador was Spanishly invisible. That's what these guys are called apparently. I didn't know that. I didn't know what the name of any of these enemies were. They weren't in the manual, which I will say in a lot of classic games I liked it when they had pictures of the enemies in the manual with all their names and stuff, but at the same time, like in some games you'd be waiting for those enemies to appear and there were no surprises. Which kind of bothered me, but I literally didn't know the name of any of the names of the enemies in this game outside of El Gigante, which, you know, speaks for itself. but they don't really. No one really mentions the names of any of the enemies in the game itself. You kind of have to look externally, and even then, I don't know where that is. I guess Capcom said in press what they're called. I don't know. Or in the official like play guides or something like that, it was all listed perhaps. That has not aged well, that melting effect. Didn't notice that before. Oh boy, more bugs. I think the other thing that's so satisfying about this this gun, aside from the stupid amount of power it has, is just how beefy it sounds. It just sounds like such a strong weapon. So even having kick-ass weapons doesn't guarantee you won't get hurt. There's only so much you can do when you're... Okay, I'm out of room. There's only so much you can do when you're surrounded by monsters, that many monsters, I guess. It's an interesting environment though, and these statues are quite interesting too. The heads are very unusual. For they don't look like your typical angels, that's for sure. This whole sort of section of the game is quite interesting. I think we're going to make our way into another mine, either in this episode or the next one. Spoilers if it's the next one, but I think it's this one. And that's got a very much like an Indiana Jones-ish sort of. Oh yes, I forgot about this. This little platforming section of sorts here. There is a switch here somewhere which I need to pull. Is it here or is it up here? No, it must be further down. I died quite a few times here playing this when I was originally at the game. There's definitely a switch somewhere, but right there, right next to me. Yes, I would like to pull that lever, thank you. Certainly no situation I'd want to find myself in running through here. And there's a siren in the background. I really hope this audio works out. That'd be really nice, because if I can just record things this way, I will quite happily do everything this way in the future. That is for certain. I'm probably going to just start playing through the games in their entirety too, and doing it that way, because there's a lot of games I want to play that when I'm playing through 2 LPs at a time, and I don't want to be playing through something blind, I can't really... Oh, that's the end of the episode. Wow, that was fast. I can't really play new games when I'm playing through 2 Let's Play games at the same time, so that's sort of thing. We'll take that as it comes. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you had a good time. I hope you don't mind me going back to this format again. I hope it sounds okay. This would be Friday's episode, yes. So I'll see you on. We'll see you tomorrow for coming. I'll see you on Monday for more Resident Evil 4. Have a great weekend.